Okay, in my chain, you can see me in the night. Told her bend it over, let me eat it with some ice. Big dude, baby, she gon' want it all night. Check hole 6 when I know you hear the pipes.
What the hell was that?
America is the most generous nation in the entire world, but unfortunately, through our bleeding hearts, we have given rise to a welfare state that is simply unsustainable in this country. And what we see today, of course, is so many people taking advantage of it. And this actually has given new rise to a complete subgenre on TikTok and Instagram where people are bragging about how much money they get for food. For instance, check this out.
Come with me to spend $2,000 in food stamps at Foodco, at Winco, at Sumco. And of course, I got my coffee with food stamps at Target. My daughter's with me and she wants to spend her food stamps too. She gets 700 and she gets 12.
So this is who we're actually supporting with our tax dollars, okay? Someone who is able-bodied, has some grown kids, and yet still gets $2,000 a month for her food, okay? But not to mention her kids apparently are also getting money, $700 and $1,200 for a grand total of $3,900 just in food. All right, this is all a huge scam, and it's going to collapse this nation, or at the very least, incentivize people to stay out of the workforce and actually produce for themselves. But when you take all of the other benefits into account, it really becomes infuriating.
We have too many people sucking off the government. I've talked about this before. I work with Section 8, okay? I have tenants that fall behind throughout the year. And so we know around tax time, those tenants that are on Section 8 will file their taxes. And meanwhile, they're on SNAP benefits. They pretty much have reduced or free rent. And a lot of them are on Social Security because they're able to get like death benefits or this, that, or whatever, that's been perverse. It was supposed to be for retirement. And our politicians were like, here, let me buy your vote and we'll open it up to more population. And they don't contribute like financially or productivity, nothing. And at tax time, I know I need to reach out to them and say, hey, you've got this balance. I know you're filing your tax return, and they're going to get a rebate. They get money back after the federal government pretty much pays for a majority of their living expenses. And so we've got a whole bunch of people that are able-bodied, can work, choose not to, and are sucking off of the system.
So that is Danielle Gallant, and she's actually a Nevada state rep, which means she still has to work for a living, okay? And she's a realtor, and she deals with a whole bunch of Section 8 housing. And she says, hey, I know that all of these tenants I have receive so many benefits, it would make you sick. But of course, going through the list, they're going to get WIC, they're going to get SNAP, they're going to get free breakfast and lunch at school for their school-age children. And of course, you have nonprofits like 3 Square, which are also federally funded. Then, of course, you have unemployment. Then you have the Section 8 housing. Then you have the Medicare, the Medicaid, and yes, the perversion of the Social Security system. Those are all the benefits these people are getting every single month to provide for their lifestyle. But anytime Republicans try to actually claw back some of those benefits, or at least have some parameters for them, the Democrats know it's time to pounce, because now they have a talking point. The Republicans are trying to kill Americans, as of course we saw in the recent scuffle over the big, beautiful bill.
Well, here's the "we are all going to die" act. It says nearly 14 million. It's 16 million, getting closer to 16 million, according to CBO's numbers, we've been told. 11 million people cut off from affordable food, tax cuts for billionaires. We're all going to die, Bill. And that shows the callousness of this Republican majority in the House and the Republican majority in the Senate. Repeal and replace, it's that by another name. That by another name.
So yes, some minor changes to Medicare, Medicaid, and SNAP benefits. And of course, the Democrats say we are all going to die. We're going to rename the big, beautiful bill as that particular act. Okay. But of course, what were the actual changes? Okay. So this over here from CNBC, how the big, beautiful bill cuts SNAP benefits. Currently, many individuals are limited to 3 months of SNAP benefits every 3 years, unless they are working 20 hours per week or qualify for an exemption. Okay. The new legislation will expand those requirements to individuals age 55 through 64, to parents of minor age children ages 14 and up, and to veterans. That's it. That's the big change. Raising up the age of work, saying that, hey, if you have basically grown children, you got to go back to work only 20 hours a week. And of course, if you're an able-bodied veteran, you got to do the same thing. So when it comes to these expanded work requirements, it's really quite lenient. And there's still going to be a whole bunch of people on here who are able-bodied, but we're still allowing them to live off of government assistance. So, of course, that's just the SNAP benefit, and the Medicare, Medicaid benefits, of course, it's basically the same thing. So here's also from CNBC, new Medicaid work requirements proposed in Republicans' One Big Beautiful Bill may prompt millions of Americans to lose coverage. Individuals aged 19 to 64 would need to work at least 80 hours per month, that's 20 hours per week, to be eligible for coverage unless they qualify for certain exemptions. All right, and that's all they could find. All right, that's the bad stuff that was in this bill that they're trying to point out, that of course they're saying millions of people will lose their coverage. If you're able-bodied, relatively young, have kids who are basically grown, and you're only being required to work 20 hours a week, and that's going to kick you off the rolls, then obviously there are some other issues present. But of course, you can't even make these claims against the Democrats. All right, even though back in the 90s, Bill Clinton actually had the work requirements added in. Honestly, because the Republicans forced them to, but it made perfect sense to everyone. And of course, we've had this big explosion of people going on these benefit programs ever since the COVID pandemic that really expanded everything. So basically, as hardworking Americans, we are sick and tired of the freeloaders, because did anybody in those videos I showed you already seem like they were unable to hold down a job, seem like they were unable to work 20 hours a week, seem like they were unable to actually be a productive member of society? And the answer, of course, is no. And if there's 14 million of them on these rolls, then hey, let's get them off and save ourselves some tax dollars. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and say hi to your mom for me. Do you like t-shirts? Of course you do. And now you can support the channel by buying an Angry Teacher t-shirt designed by me, Angry Teacher. So if you like America, if you like freedom, if you like liberty, then go ahead and click the link in the description, where all designs, of course, are 100% mother approved. So enjoy yourself and find something you like today.